Podcast. Podcast.
We're going streaking!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of Podcast vs Player. We've had a little bit of a break, but we are back. Nothing's changed, I'm still Cal. And that bona-fide rapscallion is still Dan.
Yes, I am.
He is still Dan. Bigger and better than ever.
Well. What the flip was that?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, it was nice. I like it. Yeah, there is something I would like to mention. I'm not sure if you might have heard about this or not, but there was a game I got a couple of weeks ago. It's a bit sort of like under the radar. I think it's Russian, but it's pretty good actually. It's called GTAV. It's not bad. You sort of mooching about. There's two guys and another guy, and there's you can drive around a bit. That's pretty fun. There's a few guns. You can play guns.
Is this
it's not
with the it's got like a place, and you're in a place.
Yeah, it is just a big old place, and there's so much like ground, like everywhere. It's amazing. Like there's loads of ground, and you can walk on it as well. Like wherever there's ground, you can go to the ground and like go across the ground. It's mint. But then there's like four or five different cars.
Whoa.
Yeah, but they're different cars as well, and they're like fuck it, GTA 5. Oh my god, GTA 5.
I don't know. I've been enjoying playing guitar.
Yeah,
it
had its
time for GTA.
Oh yeah, no, it just needs to be covered immediately. GTA 5 pre-ordered it, as I mentioned on a previous podcast. Got it the day it came out. I was hoping to God I got it a day early. I wasn't that lucky, but then I was also just silently weeping at the fact that it might not actually arrive and I might get it a day or two afterwards. Luckily though, it arrived as it was supposed to. I even had that week off work. That was merely coincidental, but thank God I did. By Friday, I completed the story mode.
I would
at about 75-76% complete, and oh my God,
I'd like
it's
to
amazing.
point out. Dan has quite a funny little story about his delivery of GTA 5.
Yeah, it's not very funny. I nearly had a fucking stroke. But yeah, my copy of GTA 5 was going to get delivered to my housemate's work, mainly for the fact that if it was going to get delivered here, if it wasn't in kind of like a box kind of sized envelope, they'd take it to the main sorting office. Yeah, it would would have been another day or so before I got it. So to cover my bases, I had it delivered to my housemate's work. And obviously he's the kind of arsehole that as soon as I text him saying any sign of it yet, and he's like no, nothing yet. And then I texted him, I was like, any sign of it yet? And he said yeah, it's arrived, but I think they fucked up. And he sent me a picture of GTA 4 like Liberty City Stories or something like that, and he said I think they fucked up in the delivery. And I nearly cried when I was at work, and I was like, I'm going out at lunchtime then, I'll go and buy it from the shop, I don't care. So I was on the way out the door, and he texted me. He was like, "No, I'm only fucking joking. It's here." So I nearly had a heart attack, and then I was basically sat by the front door waiting for him to get home. And he turned up, and I rinsed it that first night. I was on it for about 8 hours the first night.
He's going to say him then.
No, I told him off for as long as it took me to take the wrapper off, and then through the 8 gig install, obviously. But yeah, it is phenomenally good, absolutely amazing. I cannot believe how good it is. I know what you're going to think, and I'm going to say it. Game of the year.
See,
I knew it wouldn't be. I promised myself it wouldn't be. I said it would be The Last of Us because it's so story driven. There's no way that GTA could beat it on the story front. Oh my god, they did.
No.
Oh my god, they did.
I mean, I said it on a, I can't remember what episode it was, but I said I'd change my decision to GTA 5 for Game of the Year, and I think it will be. In fact, I know it will be. But I do think The Last of Us deserves it more.
Yeah, for simply as not necessarily a newcomer to the genre, but as it was completely original. Yeah, I think.
What summed it up basically for me? I mean, I love it. I mean, I haven't completed it. But
yeah, so I'll keep the spoilers down to a minute.
yeah, just for people who are listening, there may be a few spoilers, but not a lot because I haven't completed it. So as long as Dan keeps quiet, we'll all be happy.
Yeah.
But what covered it for me really, in the sense of why The Last of Us deserves to be Game of the Year, is a friend. I say friend, I'm not even going to say he's a friend after what he said, but he came up to me a few days after it had come out, and he was like, it's just like GTA. Like,
What?
It is GTA. He says, yeah, it's just like the other ones, you know, drive around, like, run people over, police and whatnot. And it's like,
What did he expect?
I says, what have you actually done? He's like, well, I've only done like that first mission, and then I've just been like messing around. It's like, well, yeah, it will be like GTA because you haven't tried out any of the new stuff. However, my fiance and I, she's a massive GTA fan. So as soon as it was good to go, we pre-order. Wait, obviously for it to be bloody delivered. Stupid late postman. But we wanted to play it together. I say she wanted to play it together. So we've only really been playing it, doing the missions when we have been at home together, and obviously with our son, so it's a lot harder than I'd like it to be, because I want to play it.
Yeah.
But when we aren't together, I am playing it just messing up. I've got a separate save file, and put the phone into silent mode, so we don't get any calls for the story and whatnot. And I do just dick about like the old GTAs, and I will say, with the exception of a few little touches and that, it in that sense it is very much like the old GTAs. And the other day I actually did get a little bit bored, and obviously that's not something that they can change to make a game this big. And there is a lot of stuff you can do. You can go golfing, you can go tennis, you can play tennis, sorry, go to the cinema, strip clubs, do stocks, scuba diving, raid triathlons, quad bike. It's so much stuff you can do. But ultimately, at some point, you will just drive around killing people.
Yeah. And I mean, now that I've got to the point where I have done all the missions, now there is just all the kind of the races and the triathlons and stuff. Those are really the only kind of things left. Sorry?
I did my first triathlon with Trevor.
Oh yeah.
And his stamina is awful.
See, there's this. I think it is. It's a good job I left it until I completed everything, because I've done so much mooching about through the story mode. Their stamina's all maxed out, so they can just leather everyone in the triathlon. It's really cool.
I think I came out 7th. I was actually doing really well. I came 4th. I was 4th, and then like his health started dropping rapidly, so I just had to walk a lot of the way.
Yeah.
But I can't actually describe how good it is.
No, I know what you mean.
It's not as good as I expected it to be, I must say. There are a few little bits that not so much make it a bad game, but a little bit disappointed with, in the sense that there is only still so much you can do, and I expected a lot more from what was said.
Well, you're thinking of, I mean, for me, the content wasn't really going to kick in until the online started.
I was literally just about to say.
Yeah, because that's when it's really like, now this is something we've planned for years, and we're going to try and keep you as busy as possible.
Yeah.
Not only that, but obviously, when you're on there with your mates, then you can be like, let's just try and think of the craziest stuff to do, and let's see if we can pull it off. and that is fun. So I have to agree in the sense that now that I've done pretty much all the kind of stuff there is to do, now I'm sort of sat there thinking, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Like I'm still here, so it's that engaging. I still do want to carry on doing stuff, but now it's sort of like, let's see how many people I can execute before the police find me. Or like today, like literally about 2 hours ago, I was playing it, and I was stood in a tunnel where the tram sort of goes up and down, and I put a pool of petrol on the floor, like in between the tracks. Like made a trail away from it and stood in front of the track, and I stood there for about 10 minutes waiting for this tram to turn up. And my thought was, it'd be really cool, the tram would turn up, pop the driver, bang, straight in the face, tram stops or sort of slows over the pool of petrol, shoot the petrol, flames shoot underneath it, the whole thing blows up, and it looks fucking awesome. Reality, poured the petrol down, made the trail, stood there, sunglasses on, looking like a badass. Train comes through the tunnel, I pull the gun out, he speeds up and fucking levels me straight away. So it's like, right, okay, let's go back and have another go. So went back, did it again, parked a car in front of the track this time to sort of slow him down a bit. Shot the guy, the driver, train didn't stop. So the power was already still on, so it made absolutely no difference at all.
Quite sure
but that's how kind of
works.
Yeah,
I think if the train's moving, you shoot the driver, the train will just stop.
Well, that's what I was hoping, yeah. I didn't think it would be quite so clever as to go, well, no, the power's still on, it doesn't make any difference whether the driver's there or not. But, yeah, so I was quite sort of impressed and disappointed at the same time. But I've blown up many a petrol station with a trail of petrol going across the road. It's quite cool.
There's no other game I can think of where I can go into a barber's, have a woman cut a beard onto my face, walk out, go and buy some clothes, have a look on, get my phone out, look on the stocks, look at the Facebook parody page. What's it called?
Life Invader.
Life Invader. Which is
Genius.
I really like how the updates actually are stuff that happens throughout the game.
Yeah, it's the same with things like news updates and things.
Yeah.
It's flash news, yeah.
Check out all that kind of stuff, go and buy some property, go down to the beach, have a paddle, switch to Franklin, take the dog for a walk, and then decide, actually, I'm going to go and steal a quad bike and ride up a mountain, go up said mountain, get off, have a look at the view, maybe get the sniper out so you can have a good look down, hear a noise, turn around, and there's a mountain lion there who then mauls you to death. And then prior to that, after finally getting shot, Franklin's friend Lamar's dog decided to take him to the beach, threw his ball into the sea, where Chop followed and drowned. Where I then actually quite upset because I thought, what a fucking hell can't he swim? Shot a guy off a jet ski, drove out, and my fiance had been literally driving forward for ages, and then my fiance was playing with me, playing on the games.
Oh yeah.
And she said, "There's an enemy on the screen, like a little red radar dot." So it's probably a fucking Coast Guard or something. So I've like moved the camera and there's nobody there. And then looked again and I was being circled by a shark. So obviously the first thing you do is jump off the jet ski and dive underwater so you can have a look at the shark.
Yeah, of course.
Eaten. And I can't think of any other game that'll allow me to do that.
Yeah.
And not even actually do anything regarding the actual story or doing any missions. That's just something that's
just there. Yeah, it's just
me.
It's like kind of like a background interaction where there's just stuff that's going on, and then you just kind of get caught up in it. I mean, there's things like police chases and that all over the place, and like the events, like the kind of random events that are happening all over the city. Love that. That's amazing.
I do. I haven't had that many, I must say. But what I have had, obviously, if you haven't got that far into the game, then tough. But obviously not for Dan, because Dan's finished it in like 4 days. But I had not long done a mission, and I was just driving. I was playing as Michael, and I got a call from his wife, and she'd been stopped by the police.
Oh yeah, I know.
She was shoplifting or something.
Yeah.
She says, "You got to come and help me." So I drove there. I was just about to get my car resprayed, and then I noticed there was a timer and it was counting down for like 5 minutes. I was like, "Fucking hell!" So bombed out. Got there, got out of the car, gone up to the police, and nothing. And I was just walking around, and I was like, what am I meant to do? So I saw her in the car, so I've gone over to the car, nothing. So I've just pressed triangle to get in, and then she told me to drive. And I was like, I thought I was just coming to pay some money. She just wanted me to steal the cop car and take her home.
Oh right, see that's weird, because that's actually exactly what I did. Like, I turned up and just got straight in the car and fucked off. Like, that just, I don't know, that just felt the sort of the GTA way to do it, rather than say, "Excuse me, officer, she's my wife, she's a bit crazy, I haven't had the pills today. Any chance we can just forget about this?" She'd be like, "No, fuck, bang, right, let's go, bitch." That's what you want to do.
Well, that's what, yeah, obviously, but I honestly thought I was just going to pay a fine or something. It didn't occur to me to just jump in and drive off.
It's weird that, because there's quite a few instances later on where you'll sort of go expecting to do one thing, and then something just completely different happens, and you've kind of got to adapt to the situation, which is really cool. And like the thing I did like is like with those events, like I think the first one I ever saw was like some woman got a purse nicked or something like that, so you run him over, pick it up, you choose to give it back or not. I obviously didn't, GTA, why the fuck. But then I assumed that whenever you saw something like that, it would be kind of be like, what's it called, true crime, but it'd just be basically the same thing happening again and again. It would just be people getting robbed all over the place, and then they just change drastically, and like everyone you go to is totally different, and it's brilliant.
There are a lot of things that go on though that kind of make it a little bit real. I mean, every now and then you'll get a little blue blip on the radar, and it's a I'm not 100% sure what they're called, but they go to like shops and banks and stuff, and they take the money and the
security truck,
yeah, like the security money truck things. You got a lot of time. You can either, if you can get there in time, you can kill the guy and take the money, or if you can get the doors off the back of the van, you can take the money that way.
Yep.
And they just happen randomly there. And if you purchase property, as Trevor, I think I bought a bar up near his neck of the woods.
Yeah, and they give you calls and say, "Can you just help us out with this?" Yeah,
and twice I've had two occasions where they've been held up, and I've had to go and chase the guy down who stole the money. And each time, it's been I've literally been nowhere, and I've just waited for a car to come past just so I can, because there's nothing about. And I get in like the shittest car that's coming past just so I can get into some traffic and get a better car, and then I get a call, and I'm driving like 3 miles an hour, and he's just tanking around all over the place. And the first time the police took him down and killed him, and I managed to get the money back. The second time the police took me down, and I was having to compete with the both of them. And then I've actually swapped from Michael or Franklin to Trevor, and he's had a text message saying we were held up, but you didn't come or something. You've lost X amount of money. And it's like, so them things are still happening even though you're not playing as that character.
Yeah. I mean, that does happen quite a bit when you sort of change to a character and you've had emails and stuff missed that are sometimes are mission specific. Because you've already initiated the mission with somebody else, it doesn't make any difference. But the fact is that they were made aware of it, so if you were with that person at that time, you would have got a text message the same as all the others. So it's not, you don't necessarily need to be a character to do a certain type of mission. You could be any of them and start the mission, and then the other two will be pulled straight to it, obviously. And then you can choose between them.
Speaking of switching characters though, I do like how the characters do carry on with a kind of life.
Yeah, and when you switch back to them, they're in just some random place doing something completely random.
You have a very interesting one, I must say.
Yeah, Trevor. Whenever you switch to Trevor, he's always up to something, and it is hilarious. I don't want to give it away because people will sort of experiences themselves, so I don't want to sort of spoil it. But swap often, that's what I'll say.
Yes.
Because sometimes, you swap to Michael, more times than not, he'll sort of be messing about with his kids or his wife, or he'll be just lying by the pool.
What annoys me the most with Michael, I always make sure Michael's kitted out, nice suit, sunglasses, etc. And every time I switch back, he's in fucking shorts.
Yeah, I always, before I leave the house, if he's been pissing about by the pool, I was like, right, get upstairs, get changed. I didn't buy that black suit for like $5,000 for no fucking reason, mate. Go and put it on.
Annoys me.
Yeah. Speaking of things that annoy you, though, I think what it'd be best to do, because I could literally sit here for hours and just tell you all the kind of crazy stuff I've been up to and just random things that have happened. But what I think I'm going to do is cover, probably not all of them, I'll think of some later, but I'd like to go over some of the things I don't like, mainly for the fact that they are negligible compared to everything else that goes on in the game. But there are some elements that it certainly wouldn't be a game changer. It certainly wouldn't stop me from buying it full price. It certainly wouldn't stop me from giving it Game of the Year or a 5-star rating. No way in hell. But there are certain things that I'm just not really a fan of. First one being the kind of medal system for missions. Not a fan of that. I don't think that belongs in a GTA game. The fact that it's got to rate you on a mission. Like, the point of GTA is that you do it how you want to. You be as crazy as you want to. It doesn't matter as to how quickly you do it or how many headshots you get along the way. I don't think that's right. It shouldn't be ranking you. I mean, I get it for sort of like online, for your mates and stuff. You get, well, I did this mission in 3 minutes. But then I just go, I don't give a shit. I did it and I killed 400 guys. I don't give a shit how you did it. It's not the point. So I really don't like that at all. I mean, for the shooting, for the flying, the driving, I get that. That's fine. Obviously, you go, fuck it, I want to get a better score. Probably it would reflect in your stats as well, so you get a better shooting stats and all that, better driving stats. But just for a general mission, I don't think it needs to be in there. I really don't.
I think it's there mainly because now you can actually do the mission again if you want to. So you only get a bronze. You think, I could have done that a lot better.
True, but the thing is, though, I'm not really bothered by that. The fact that I managed to get through it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The fact that you can replay missions, I will be doing every heist again and again and again because they are fucking amazing. But parachuting from a crane onto a truck, oh fuck, I didn't get it exactly in the middle. I'll do that again. No, he's like, well, fuck it, I did it in the first place. Not really that bothered. The only missions that I want to replay are the ones where there is so much going on. And I don't want to be ranked, or like things like timers, like to get to a certain place before someone dies or something like that, but something that times me, don't like that. It doesn't happen very often, granted, but it does happen. So I'm not particularly a fan of that. The medal system really don't like, apart from the kind of training things. The flight course, any kind of driving, any of the races, the competition, anything that's competition based, you need a ranking system for that. Plus then you can go and say, I did the assault rifle target course and nailed bullseye on every single shot.
Yeah.
And I beat all my mates. No one can do that apart from me. That's fantastic. I really, that's how it should be. But just for general missions, no, don't agree with it.
No. What I don't like, and it's not a deal breaker by any means, but obviously it's an 8 gig install, mandatory 8 gig install. Yeah. Which, funnily enough, my friend, he pre-ordered GTA. He was dead excited. He was adamant it was going to come the Saturday before. I told him it wasn't, and it obviously didn't. And I sent him a picture, as I did with you, of my copy when it arrived. Yeah. And he'd come home from work, and he didn't know there was an 8 gig install. And he only has a 4 gig Xbox. So he had to go out. Luckily he has got a PS3 as well. So he just bought it for the PS3 and sold the Xbox copy. I was just like, dude. But anyway, though, what I don't like is there's this mandatory 8 gig install. You sit there, do that. It only took about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But the load times are ridiculously long still.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean to load up the game?
Yeah, you stick it on, and you got a couple of load screens to crack on through, and they just seem to take such a long time considering the amount that's already installed.
true, but I mean the amount of actual content within it, though.
Bearing in mind,
I can forgive it. I really can.
Because you've got it on 360, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I imagine it is. I could be wrong, but I think the load times will be slower on the Xbox as well, with the PS3 being a Blu-ray drive as well. So it's obviously a faster drive.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly not an issue that I've got with it.
It's it's fine. It's
no, but I mean of all the little gripes and things I've got, that wasn't even what I hadn't even considered that. That wasn't an issue. I mean, not to the fact where I thought, God, I've been waiting for 20 minutes for this to figure itself out. No. I mean, if I played it on a PS3 and it was a lot quicker, then fair enough. But it doesn't bother me in the sense that it's sort of killing the atmosphere because I'm just sort of sat around watching loading screens.
As we've just been talking about, though, I have thought of one thing that I actually don't like, but it does make me laugh. Is that now, when say you're running, and then you press jump to jump.
I know exactly what you're going to say, and yeah.
if you touch anything, you just spaz the fuck out.
Yeah,
spaghetti
if you
eggs.
Sort of time a jump wrong, you'll just crash into a wall or something.
Even if it's a bush, if you touch anything, you that's it, faceplant. And they get around, they're very, very funny, but when I'm trying to run from the police, or I've got gang members or something after me, and there's a small little, it's not even a real wall, it's like 3 bricks high, but it's not low enough to just run over. And I press jump, and he just falls over it, and then takes about 4 days to get up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. It's just something you kind of adapt to as you go. So you go, fuck, I won't do that again. I know how much distance I need to give myself to get up there. But the only time I really sort of saw that as an issue where it wasn't hilarious, like because you like hit someone's car as they were driving past and you go flying through the air. Is that sort of first mission when you're breaking into Michael's house as Franklin, to get up onto the roof, like when you climb up onto the roof of the car, and then to get up onto the roof and then go through that window. It took me about 4 attempts to do that.
Oh no,
to get falling off. No, I just couldn't get it. I don't know if it was me or the fact that I just couldn't seem to aim it right. It probably was, yeah. Another kind of gripe I've got is kind of the interaction that you can have with the kind of friends that you've got, that your character's got, should I say. In the fact that you can select, any of the other playable characters, or you can select the personal NPCs from, the characters' own stories, and sort of say, do you want to hang out for a bit? And the amount of things to do are incredibly restricted. You've literally got a choice of tennis, strip club, drinks.
Yeah.
That's it. So
I'm a bit disappointed actually, because I thought more things would unlock as you went further, but
that's exactly what I thought.
As you finished it,
it still hasn't changed, unfortunately. And when you were even in GTA 4, you could go and just go with any of the sort of random mates, and there was a ton of stuff to get up there. Sorry?
Can you go darts? Like play darts?
Yeah, there's like a couple of darts.
I haven't been darts.
It's fine. It's very similar to the GTA 4 one. It's a lot shakier though, so it's a lot harder to control, which is better because I was nailing the 180s on GTA 4. It's dead easy. But other than that, there's not really that much to do. I mean, before you could go to restaurants, you could take people out on dates and all that kind of stuff. There's a real sort of social interaction you could have with NPCs, but it's very removed from this. It's just a case of you can go for a drink, you can go to a strip club, or you can go and play tennis. That's
that
about it.
Really bother me, because there was nothing worse on GTA 4, and you'd be driving and you get your phone call, and it's like, "Hey Nico, do you want to go bowling?"
Yeah. Do you go to the strip club? He's like, "No, I'm in the middle of a fucking mission. Leave me alone."
It doesn't really bother me, and I do like going and playing tennis and golf and stuff on 5, but they are things that you can just do on your own anyway, without having to wait for someone to call you up and ask if you want to go and play tennis.
Yeah, no, you can do.
It's a nice touch to have, but I haven't actually rung anyone up and asked anyone to do anything When Zoe's been playing it, she's rang someone up and asked them if they want to go for a drink or something, but I'd much rather get on a quad bike and snipe the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah, I don't know, I just like sort of like, because on 4 you sort of built up your friendship with the NPCs like Jacob and Roman, and you know, the better you got to know them, you could sort of unlock abilities with them, or you know, the police chief and all that sort of stuff. You know, you could call off your stars, and with little Jacob you could call like a gun delivery service and all that sort of stuff. And I really liked that, because it was just like, well, the only way I can get it is by going out, and then the fact that you could go and see like Ricky Gervais had got a whole stand-up in it, and so it I can't remember his name now, but
there are comedy clubs on 5.
Yeah, but you can't go in them.
Can you not?
No, and there's a casino, and you can't go in that either. And it's stuff like that. I'm just thinking, I hope to Christ this is all content that's open when the online comes out. That's why I'm hoping. I'm hoping that there is just infinitely more to do with just you and your mates. Because as it stands at the moment, it's not. I don't like it. It's like, I like to be able to sort of relate to the characters, and I want to see them build their friendships.
On here, it's got a list of stuff you can do. A lot of new side activities are available, including yoga, hunting, jet skiing, base jumping, cycling, tennis, golfing, bowling, strip clubs, live comedy, in-game TV make a return.
In-game? What, sorry?
In-game TV, like when you can turn the TV on and watch telly.
Oh yeah. There's TV channels and all that.
It says live comedy. Not
that I've seen. I've gone to the clubs to try and get into them, but there's nothing on the map. And if you approach a building, because there's certain shops that you can rob and things.
Yeah.
They're not stated on the map. They're kind of just things that you come across. But when I saw a comedy club, the first thing I thought was, oh, Ricky Gervais was in the other one. It was fucking hilarious. I'll go in and, you know...
Did you play Ballad of Gay Tony?
No, I didn't get any of the DLC.
Very, very good games. But instead of Ricky Gervais on that one, they have Frankie Boyle.
No way!
It was amazing. We sat there, we were playing it before we had work, like the next day, and after we'd finished playing, we went to the comedy club and watched like the whole act, and then as if we were just watching TV.
Yeah.
Once he'd finished, we turned it off and went to bed. But I'll be disappointed if you can't do it. I mean, I haven't found it myself on the actual game yet, but I also haven't done bowling or hunting or...
If there's bowling, I haven't seen bowling.
It says internet cafes aren't on it, but
no,
you can do it on your phone now, can't you?
Yeah, the smartphone is amazing. That was such a good addition.
I like
the fact that you can just go on
like
everything that you can go on a normal computer.
It looks like an S4, which I like.
Yeah, but they've all got their own separate phones as well.
Yeah.
Kind of, I like that. Like, Trevor's got like a Nokia.
Yeah, he's got like a Windows phone.
Yeah.
It's basically gone... the expensive, which is Michael, he's got like the iPhone equivalent. And then Franklin's got like an Android phone.
Yeah.
And
it looks kind of BlackBerry-ish.
It does, I must say, but I do get this sense that it's aimed more Android-y.
Yeah.
And then Trevor gets a fucking Windows phone.
It looks just like the Nokia Lumia. That's what it looks like.
Bang on.
Yeah, and it's obviously like a Windows kind of like Windows 8 layout. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I will say that straight away. The sort of the social commentary throughout the game is amazing.
Yeah.
They absolutely nail everything on it. But that is something to go into later. Things like Clucking Bell, pizza shops, all that kind of stuff, can't go in those anymore.
Yeah, I think it was like just turned. Well, it had been night time for quite like in-game night time, and I tried to get in and I thought, it must not be open at night time, and then I've gone back during the daytime and saw nothing.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because I mean that was, you could go in there and you could just get. It was because they were everywhere. It was plentiful as the hot dog.
You can't even get to the vendors on this one.
No, that's the thing. I mean, to try and find just health. I mean, there's vending machines, fine, but they're not just going to be on every street corner.
I didn't even know there was vending machines.
Yeah, there's like the what's it called, like Splurt or something like that, like a green vending machine.
yeah, yeah.
That, you pay $1 there.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, or any of the shops that you can rob, you can also go to the counter and you can buy some candy or whatever, then kill the guy or whatever.
House though, they've just got first aid kits in the house.
Yeah, that is good. I like that. So if you go to a safe house, there's always a chance you can get the health kits from there.
Yeah, but it's always, if you go into the bathroom, I think, when it's Trevor's, what's Trevor's friend? Is it Wade?
Wade, yeah.
When you're at his cousin's house, his first aid kit's in the bathroom. But in Michael's, it's in the kitchen.
Yeah, just on the counter.
Yeah. Does this brand? I mean, I imagine some people will have a first aid kit in the kitchen. But,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my mum does.
but she's not in the GTA.
Well, as far as I know.
But there's just a lot of. Actually, totally disregarding what I was going to say, going back to the whole phone thing, what is quite a piss take, really, is that you got Chop, obviously the dog, and you can train, if you download the iFruit app, you can train him to be better in, like, when you're getting attacked, he's a lot more on the ball, and
Yeah, you can teach him tricks and stuff.
you can actually teach him dog tricks and stuff. But the app is only available on iPhone at the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
But
But it was something I looked for straight away as soon as
You
he
don't
said,
need-
"Oh yeah, you can download it."
all these, I mean, obviously you're not the only person that's completed it. Thousands of people have already completed it, and I mean, luckily I've got an iPhone as well as a Note 2, so I just downloaded it on my iPhone and I have been doing it. But for something that's such a pivotal thing, that it's not even a case of, well, you know, if you haven't got an iPhone, then you can actually just train him in the game. It's just something you can do while you're out and about, but you can't. So by the time it actually comes out on Android, the majority of people are going to have finished it.
Yeah.
You're not missing anything anyway. It's not a very good app.
Well, it's just a little add-on. I mean, they're not going to spend a huge amount of time or money investing and stuff in that.
What I do like is that you can go onto I forgot what it's called already, Life Invader,
Yeah.
through the app, and if you click on Los Santos autos, it takes you to their page bit, and you can customise your number plate to,
Oh, right, I didn't know you could do that.
to say what you want, and I did it all, and it's like available and whatnot. Gone up, I turned the PS4 on, and nothing. So I'm guessing it's going to be for online. You can't.
Yeah, it's the same as like when you're looking at a lot of the websites. It says, like if you're trying to watch a video, it says demands too high, try again later.
Yeah.
And again, I assume that is an online thing. It's the same as if you go into any ammunition, there's a whole wall on the right-hand side,
It's just empty.
which is empty, and if you go to it, it says Xbox Store, so there'll be additional guns to buy.
Well,
So the fact that all the guns that you can get, those aren't all the ones that will be available. That I like that. I'm looking forward to whatever that.
Because it's microtransactions online. Have you not seen this?
I don't think so.
Let's just find it to show you. But basically, the game will be start off as like, you know, when you just go on an online game and you shit,
Yeah.
and you can either work to get better or chuck some money at it and then you get it instantly. It's basically that. And you get cash cards ranging from like, it's like, I think it's like $1 million, 100,000, sorry, to like $1.25 million.
Yeah.
And they cost from like, I think it's like £3.49 for like 100 grand or something like that, which isn't too bad really. But what are they? 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, and $1.25 million. And they are basically in-game credit cards.
That's quite cool.
So you can go and buy property, and it works out that property, if say there's a property on the single player game that costs like 600 grand, it'll be cheaper on the online mode. So you might be able to get it for like 200 grand. But weapons and car upgrades will cost more online than they do in the single player game.
because they'd be more plentiful, I assume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it seems a good idea. I don't really like having to throw money at things instead of earning it.
Well, I mean, that's depending on how much time you're willing to to put into it. Sorry, I mean, if you just go, fuck it, I'm not going to be on it that much. I just want to try and run it as best I can. I want to be amazing online straight away. Then you will, spend a 10 or 15 quid or whatever it is to, max everything out. But people like me, and most people I assume, will go, no, I want to start robbing liquor stores and stuff, and I want to be able to build up and rob banks.
I think we'll be running around with what we believe to be awesome. The most weapon I use the most is the pistol with the silencer on it.
I love it. Yeah. Just that, I love it.
Amazing. I have that, and I have my sniper rifle, and I have like the AK-47 equivalent, but with a flashlight on it. And I'll be going around thinking, yeah, got me silenced handgun, and then someone's going to have chucked 5 quid at it and got a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. And eventually I'm going to give in, and I'm just going to end up putting some actual real money into it, and then I'm going to feel dirty.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, you earn it more and you feel better about it. It's just like, yeah, I've worked so fucking hard to get all this shit, now we're going to go and rob this bank, and we're going to do it, and we're going to get $1 million, and it's going to be amazing. We'll buy loads of shit, like, really cool cars and stuff. Thinking
about it, when, I don't know, little Timmy, well, big Timmy, because you have to be 18.
18, yeah, come on, peg your rate.
He's chucked X amount of money at the online. He's done the big one, and he's got like $1.25 million, and he gets killed. Can I then pick his money up?
Oh, I don't know. I doubt that. If it's something you bought in like a real-time transaction, I doubt you'll just be able to get it off him.
No,
because that way you could just you wouldn't even need to put any kind of skill or effort into it yourself. What you'd have to do is just scavenge.
Yeah.
Just wait until a big group of people finish fucking each other up, then just kill the last guy and take all of the money.
Yeah. Because I've just got the notion that we're going to be like a group of us. We're going to plan a heist out. We're going to do it the best as we can. And as we get away, we're going to get killed, and someone's going to just rob us.
Well, see, that's something that can actually happen on the multiplayer on Arma 3. There's like a kind of a currency reward system on some of the types of maps. And like you usually get about like $100 per kill, something like that. And I remember it wasn't long after I'd started playing. This is on the beta, mind, but it's on the first one, on the new one, sorry. But I remember there was some guy just like loading up a pickup truck, and I had no gear, I just had a pistol, like 2 clips, killed this guy. And I got so much equipment, and I got about like $4,000 off him. And I was thinking, oh god, I feel fucking awful now. He must have spent ages getting all that together. And I've just come along, Mr. Noob over here, just put a bullet in the back of his head and nicked all his stuff. I felt well tight. So I really hope that's not the option, because I'll be gutted. Like you just said, if we do a whole heist perfectly, you confuse everyone. You've got your perfect getaway car, and someone's just put a sticky bomb at the bottom of it and blows you up and takes all your stuff. I'll be gutted.
I don't know. I think as long as you can't do like what we said, that chuck the money at it, get killed, you've lost all your money.
Yeah.
That would be a bit of a kick in the face, to be honest.
Unless it would be a case of, well, you get to keep it, but they get some of it. Like if you put £5 worth in there, say, and you get killed immediately, they get a certain percentage of that in their sort of in-game currency. But your £5 would still be safe. You haven't lost that at all.
But if they do that, then theoretically, I could say, right, give us £2.50 down. Go halves on this £5 credit card that gives $1 million.
Yeah.
And then I'll kill you. And then you kill me, and then I'll kill you.
Well, yeah.
And then you kill me, and then we've just got endless amounts of money.
Yeah, I don't think they'd do anything like that.
I think it'll be fine as long as they don't offer if you want to buy better weapons and you want to buy the upgrades for your cars and you want to invest in properties and stuff, you can chuck money at it to do it quicker. And as long as there isn't like perks and buffs that you can buy.
No, the Rockstar, they're clever. I don't think they'd go that far. I really don't.
I think it'll be fine as long as you can't do that.
Yes, I think they'll still keep it like the way they did in the GTA 4 online. That was amazing. It was literally just, here's the map, here's you and your mates, off you pop.
Yeah.
But there wasn't, obviously there weren't missions of sorts to do, you was just kind of pissing about. And then there was obviously the sort of the competitive element, but there wasn't any like sort of robberies you could do, and you couldn't do assassinations or that kind of stuff, which is obviously what you're going to be able to do on this one.
It's like 500 missions from the get-go on online.
Which will be updated, added to,
and
continuously. Yeah.
Different areas are going to be added along the line as well, so it's going to be a pretty big game. But I'm not as excited as I was, and I think it's down to hype more than anything. And once it's come, I mean, is it the 2nd of October? I think it is.
First, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. I think I'll be a lot more excited when it actually hits. Mainly because, obviously, I'm still playing the single player at the moment. And more so, actually, because Dan bought it on an Xbox, and I bought it on PlayStation. So we won't be playing together.
Yeah.
But when we was talking about it on another episode of PvP, where we was how amazing it looked on the teaser, where the jet went past. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the fuck? And I think I'm not sure which one it is. There's either only 16 or 32 players. That's
still pretty fucking mental, though.
It's going to be pretty good. So obviously, if it's 32 people, there'll be 16 players per side. I really wanted it to be like thousands of people on.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only the best MMOs that you can do that.
Yeah.
You know, but with that level of content and with that sort of graphical quality, no way. No, wait, you're looking at GTA 7 before something like that comes along.
I don't even think that. I think it would be further down the line than that, to be honest. But it was just the image I had. I had this world in my head that it was just constantly living and breathing. And is there actually going to be any NPCs on?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like literally just walking.
I doubt there'll be any
like pedestrian.
Kind of like. Oh no, there'll be the city will be populated. Yeah. It's just that I don't think there'll be sort of like new characters to be sort of making yourself aware of.
No. I mean, like obviously the multiplayer on GTA 4 was literally, if there was 3 people online, there was 3 people online. No pedestrians or nothing.
What?
GTA 4.
No way! I played it with just the one mate of mine, and we just caused absolute chaos.
No, but that's what I mean. So I was going to say, if there was just you two, there was nobody else on that server. There was no like NPCs or anything. It was literally an empty world, and then however many players. What I've got in my head for GTA 5 is the single player, but with more obviously players than just myself.
Yeah.
But
see, that'd be fine, but
live in world still.
Yeah, it would just destroy your game.
No, I don't mean like whilst I'm playing the single player.
Oh right, yeah. I was going to say you're just being like just mooching about and someone just takes you out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, for fuck's sake, leave me alone.
I think that'd be ace.
No, that would wind me up, because it would just be like the same fucking knobhead who just keeps coming along after I've just finished doing up my car, and just be waiting outside the goddamn dealership.
Because imagine.
And as soon as I drive out, he'd blow me up straight away.
Imagine if you hadn't got your gamer tag over your head, like you do on every single game, and then there was like thousands of NPCs, and you were just walking in the crowd. And
yeah, kind of like Assassin's Creed Online kind of thing.
Oh, that was awful.
I like the concept of the fact that it was Call of Duty sized maps. Like, there's about 3 streets and that was about it.
Yeah, but it was like 3 characters, and then it was like, this is your target. And there's like 25,000 different people of the same character.
Yeah.
If you picked the wrong one, you fucked it. And then you had people who were stalking you. It's like you're being stalked. Then do you run? Because if you run, they're gonna know it's you. And oh fucking hell, it was too confusing. It was.
I don't know. I like that.
Don't get me wrong, I played it for quite a while, if I'm honest, but more out of intrigue than actually enjoying it. It was I wanted it to be Assassin's Creed single player, but online. I wanted it to be, I can go and pick out and kill people, kind of like. Have you played Absolution online?
No.
Well,
I know the contract missions, but I haven't done any of them.
Well, throughout the single player game, you can make a contract while you're playing the single player game. Pick out a random person, and then that contract will go online. And if I pick it up, I have to do that particular mission that you've done, but kill the person that you've selected.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. It's quite clever. But again, GTA 5, I really want it to be like an actual living world that makes you think. I could just go and play golf if I want.
Yeah.
Little mooch about, and then all of a sudden a fucking helicopter crashes on the golf course, and I get eaten by a shark.
Yeah, see, I like the
play
idea of it, but the thing is, though, it wouldn't be people just trying to keep to themselves. It would be people trying to bother you.
Yeah.
So, like you say, you could just be on a golf course, and then someone just comes up and just stands in front of you, and you're like, "What are you doing? Get out of the way!" And everywhere you go, you'd just be stood in front of you. And it would be people like that. It would be people trying to try and piss you off, and then you start on them, and then they just pull out like the best shotgun ever and just blow you away.
Waiting for you to start.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
But that's actually just reminded me of one of the other sort of issues I've got with it, and it's the fact that everyone in Los Santos seems to be edging for a fight.
Yeah.
Everyone. It doesn't matter who they are. You stand next to them for too long, and they start on you. You look at them, and they go, "What are you looking at?" Well, you're bang. That's how it is. Earlier today, after I think it was just after that fucking tram wiped me out, I came out of the hospital, and there's just a paramedic having a fag, and I was sort of like, I ended up just standing next to him while I was sending a text to someone, and he started on me. A paramedic? So I battered him, and then all his paramedic mates come running round, so I blew them all away. Then the police turn up, and because the police are so fucking good in this, it takes forever to lose them. It was just like, all I was doing was standing still. But like, if you're trying to walk through like a room that's populated with NPCs, and you bump into someone, they all start on you straight away.
But I think that's what's good about the counter. But you can dodge and counter.
Yeah. I mean, I would like more of a sort of robust melee kind of system. But the fact is that most of the time you will be using guns, and that is where it absolutely nails it.
Going back.
So, yeah, I like the melee as it is, but I do think it could have been a little bit better.
Going back to what you said about the police, though, is what I have found on 8 out of 10 chases, if you can get off, like say the motorway, and drive up a mountain, they lose you straight away.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get like 100 yards up the mountain, and it's like, we've lost sight of him. So, well, you haven't. I'm like the only car driving up the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, one particular mission, I can't remember what it was, but he was playing as Franklin, and it's with Lamar and the guy that's just come out of prison. And we had to lose the police, and ended up just driving up a mountain, flipped the car, and it set on fire. So we just walked from the mountain to Franklin's house. And it took about 15 minutes. It was just like, I couldn't lose the police. I was going down alleys. I cut off like one of the streets and got onto the beach, just driving through the sand, and they were cutting me up and ramming into me and whatnot. I got onto the motorway, by accident flipped over the side and landed underneath, where they actually did follow me. And then I just drove up the mountain and they lost me. And from then on, that's what I do. If I'm getting chased by the police, I just find a mountain, just drive up it.
I don't know. I don't really find myself in that many situations where I'm sort of next to mountains. Like, I'm usually in the city when people kick off at me.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of like, shit. Like, I've got to go down an alley. I've got to jump out of this car and jack someone else's without them seeing me. And that is, it's much better. But the thing is, though, like, if you speed off, like in someone else's car, if they haven't seen you get into it, they'll notice it, and they'll start on you as well.
Yeah.
So I do like how good the police are, And what I also do like is that they are not on every fucking street corner.
There are a lot less police on this, I must say.
Yeah, until you fucking start a crime. Then they start coming at you. But you won't just bump into them in the street. You won't be bombing it down the motorway and to bump into a police car and just lose everything you were doing because the police have started on you, so you've got to lose all of them. There won't just be random police officers walking around, which is fine. But on the sort of flip side of that, if you jack someone's car or if you beat someone up in the street, you can hear people calling the police.
Yeah.
And then the police come.
But if you...
That is brilliant.
There was a moment on that. I was at the amusement thingy, like at the fairground, and I hadn't actually got enough money to go on. I'd previously been on the roller coaster, but I was on my own, and Zoe was here with me on another playthrough. I said, let's do the roller coaster. So we've got up, and I hadn't actually got enough money to go on. So, just being a dick, trying to be funny, I just climbed over and I was just running up the track. I was like, it's basically this but faster, just being a dick. And I jumped off. And as I jumped off, I landed and killed on one of the NPCs and killed them. This woman started running, and then she was like, I'll go and get the police, or whatever she said. So I just shot her. The police didn't come because she didn't get to call them.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the fact that you can sort of stop it, but if it's in the middle of a street, obviously there's so many people there.
Yeah, there's far too many people to take out.
Yeah. But like, it's I don't know, it's kind of weird, like, playing it today, I was behind, like, I was just driving just this piece of shit car, and a fire engine, like with its sirens on. I'd just blown up a petrol station, so it could have very well have been going to that. But it was kind of heading in the other direction, and it came flying around this corner and was driving off. So I thought, I'll follow it, maybe there's a fire there, and I can, just like a random fire.
Yeah.
And that's just another sort of environmental thing that's just happening. But, maybe if I jump in, I can help fight the fire or something like that. Thinking that, following it, it gets to the train tracks, there's a train coming. So, obviously, the two cars in front of that, and the fire engines stop, and the barriers come down, and I'm behind it, and I just start, because I'm sitting there waiting for this fire engine to carry on so I can follow it, I start wheel spinning, because I'm just sat there doing nothing. So my front wheels are, like, making smoke. And then all the firemen jump out and start on me. They pull me out of the car, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? So I battered them, and then another one jumped out of the fire engine, so I started with him, and then just random citizens started joining in, because obviously everyone's so fucking helpful. But then I thought, oh, fuck this, so I shot one of them, and then the police get called, and I was like, fucking hell, here we go. And all I was doing was trying to help. But because everyone's so on edge, like, eventually, no matter what you do, or whoever you're talking to, the police will just get called, and you will just have to drive off and park under a bridge somewhere.
We, on one of the early missions, playing Franklin, and it's the one where you're with that girl, and you have to take the repo truck.
Tanya.
Yeah, that's her name. And you've got, like, the tow truck thing.
Yeah.
And I've done the mission, and I was just driving, and I was still in the truck. And a guy just banged into me in a car. It's like, dickhead, I can't drive it. But he was following me, like banging.
Yeah, there's like angry drivers and stuff.
So I stopped, lowered the tow truck thingy, and I hooked him. And I just carried on, and he was still in the car, and I carried on driving. And I stopped I stopped just off the tram tracks, and he was still on the tram tracks. And then tram come, and just took him out.
That's amazing.
The police did come, and I was just like, well, it wasn't my fault. But apparently, you can actually hook the police.
Really?
Around with the police as well. So I've been told.
Oh, no way. See, that's the thing, that I'm at that stage now where it's all that kind of crazy stuff. Now I've got enough money and sort of firepower to just basically do as much as I can and just see what kind of crazy stuff you can get away with.
What I really like, and it's really boring, but I like getting, although it does work better if you go and do a car up, but it's a lot more interesting if you get a quad bike and drive up the highest mountain you can find, and it takes a good while, and you have to do a lot of like wheel spins just to get that little bit of boost when it starts getting more vertical. But just get to the top if you can, and then turn around and just fucking tank it down, because it goes so fast. And if you're lucky, you won't hit anything, and you'll make it to the bottom, and you'll just sit there. And I actually got a bit like, oh, that was amazing. And I did it the first time, and I did it successfully. It took me ages to get to the top of the mountain. And then I thought, you know what, I could just, if I drive, I started sliding, and I looked and I saw a cable car. So I was like, I've got a better idea. Instead of spending like 25 minutes trying to drive up a mountain. So I've bombed down this mountain, drove all the way to the cable carts, managed to drive the quad bike up all the steps, like doing all the turns and stuff, sat and waited for a cable car to come. The cable car came, and I drove in, and it's like, you can't take the vehicle on here.
Oh, no way.
Dickhead. So I thought I'd try and trick it. I'll leave it just on the edge of the door, as if I'm not going to go in. And as soon as it goes to go, I'll just drive in. So I did, and then the cable car just kind of like stopped, came up again, but I pressed triangle instead of brake, so I got off the thingy, and then it got wedged in between the door and the barrier, so I couldn't get it out, so I had to walk all the way down. Oh no, I didn't, I tell a lie. I just went to the other side, because it's like, you stand on the platform in the middle, and then the cable carts come either side of you. So I've gone on the other one, and just gone up to the top. And as you walk out, there's a parachute. So I got the parachute and just carried on walking, because there was like a metal framing. So I thought, this must be the base jumping, but it wasn't. It's just like a tower thing, like an electrical tower. And I just jumped off, opened the parachute, and just hit the floor. I wasn't even like that high up. It just died. I was like, shit. But my friend, I'm not sure where he's got it from, because I tried it and I couldn't find one anywhere, but he took a bicycle onto the cable car and he drove down the mountain on a bicycle.
Yeah, bikes are everywhere.
Got like 100 yards, hit a rock, and he just flew down the mountain. I can't find any bicycles that are by the cable car.
Oh, right.
I can find them, but they're only like Los Santos.
Yeah, that's like by the beach and stuff.
I started like, it's a good fucking, the cable carts are at the top of the map, and I sat there and so he was going, just bike it, you got all night. So I put the marker on, and then gone, and I've been going for like 15 minutes or something, and his heart was nearly giving in. Press start to look at the map, and I've got like 12 yards. So fuck this. But when I unlocked Trevor, I thought I'll buy a bike online and it'll store it in his garage. But every time I tried to buy it, it was like, you've got nowhere to buy this. Would you like to buy a garage? I've got a garage.
No, it means like a main garage.
Yeah. I'm like,
they're about 30 grand there.
So I'm yet to take a bicycle all the way up. Although I've been looking for a bicycle for quite a while, and it wasn't until I did the mission where you have to race Michael's son that I actually started seeing them around the city.
Yeah.
And I finally found one, and I killed the guy. I'd just spent like 80 grand on my car, tanking out, saw a guy on a bike, dived out, took the bike off him, and as I went past, I saw a skate park, so I've got on, drove up the vert ramp, fell off, and the bike's got stuck at the top. And I was like, fucking hell. So I tried to run up the vert ramp, and you can't get up the top. So I thought, I'll just shoot it down. So I did, and the wheels came off. So it's like, it's not going well, these bicycles aren't. I really want to drive down a mountain on a bicycle, because I can take in the cable cart. But
have you taken them in the customization shop? Can you actually do the bikes up?
I actually haven't. I've took a quad in, and it won't let you customise a quad.
I've done a motorbike, and it's fucking lethal.
Yeah, I did.
Like, if you touch anything, you just fly off and you die straight away.
Because it's made of fire.
Yeah.
I must say, I am quite disappointed with the customisation on the vehicles. It's not as vast as I thought it'd be.
True, but don't forget with the fact that it's a tennis simulator and a golf simulator, and it's got flying and racing and shooting and fighting and story.
I want to take a plane.
To say that, it hasn't got all the different colours of the rainbow for window tints. I don't really care.
I want to. I actually thought you could buy. I can't remember what house it was. I thought there was a property for sale, like near Trevor's neck of the woods, and it was like 60 grand. Which I had like 150 grand. But I'll go and buy that new property. And I was in Los Santos, and I tried to drive there. And every time something had happened, and the police would be after me, and I'd end up dying at some point. So I looked, and you buy the flight school. So I thought I'm just going to steal a plane. So I drove down to it. And I didn't want to do the flight school, so I've hopped the fence. And as soon as you get onto the airfield, it's like 4 stars near enough, 3 or 4 stars. So I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to get a plane and drive off anyway. There's no planes. The only planes that are there are like actual planes, like you're going on holiday.
I haven't figured out how to fly those yet. I haven't even figured out to get the fuck in them.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Which is a pain in the arse, because you can actually, there are bigger planes than the sort of personal jets that you can fly. So I don't understand why those massive jumbo jets are all sort of flying about, because I haven't got enough time to sit there and think, right, how am I going to get in this? Because like you say, as soon as you start to head towards the runway, the police are all over you.
You might have to do all the flight schools, and you kind of like get a license or something, and then they.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't got them all gold, but I've certainly done them all.
I'm not very good on the planes anyway.
Oh no, I like the plane. I've actually bought a plane now. They cost a fucking fortune, but
they do.
I bought a plane
as well, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I mean that basically covers the sort of things I'm not particularly happy. Oh, the major one, the one that really annoyed me. I mean, the other ones are sort of like little things like, the one that really got me is the radio. The radio I'm really not happy with. The lack of any kind of alternative music, so sort of metal.
So there is a station for that.
No, there's not.
There is.
What, rock radio?
What's it called? I'll find it.
Yeah, but I keep hearing the same songs being repeated again and again and again. And like when I think of things like GTA 4, like I could literally I'd stop whatever I was doing and park the car up so I could listen to what was going on the radio.
Yeah.
Because there was like chat shows and like the psychic woman who was just a fucking nut job. Like all that kind of crazy stuff that was going on, and that was just on the radio. And I was just like, oh god, they're going to have all that kind of comedy stuff back. You know, it's going to be really satirical, really sort of like, like proper tongue-in-cheek about like sort of like talk radio and all that sort of stuff. And there's an element of it, but it's nowhere near as good as it was on GTA 4. And like, as you are driving a lot of the time, and the radio is kind of the only thing you've got to, most people will only have a kind of a handful of radio stations that they'll sort of switch between.
Yeah.
And there's only one that I use, which is rock radio. Everything else seems to be either sort of like dance music or kind of Spanish music.
Channel X, which is punk rock. Vinewood Boulevard Radio, which is alternative rock. Radio Mirror Park, which is indie. Rock Radio, which is classic rock. So there's like 4.
Yeah, but there's the same 4 or 5 songs repeated on them.
You have to remember that they have got like radio rights on this one. I mean, from I think Vice City, I think, was when they started using proper songs.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is there isn't a lot of what channel do I listen to all the time? West Coast Talk Radio. That's the one I have on all the time because I prefer the funny stations rather than listening to the actual music. Yeah,
no, I agree. Like that Psychic, I love listening to that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, because I've been playing, obviously just before I got GTA 5, I was playing a lot of GTA 4. And there's like adverts for like horrific things, just like, you know, buying a baby over the internet. If you don't like it, just dump it in the river and we'll send you a new one. And it's just like, but it's like actual advertising. Well, and it's fine in GTA, because that just makes sense.
There's one on this one for It's like an anti-aging thing, but it's the what do they use in morgues? That stuff they...
Formaldehyde.
Yeah, it's like that basically, but you just inject it yourself and stay young forever.
There's some really cool, like the TV shows are quite cool. There's like there's an advert like trying to get rid of the wind farms because they keep killing the birds.
Yeah.
So like the alternative solution is like the sort of like horrible smog polluting plants that they've already got. It's like protect our wildlife. They'll thank you. Great.
I like the idea. What I'm more happy about, I can't remember the name of the show now, but there's on the PSP version of GTA, there was a radio show, and it was like a time-travelling detective, but he travelled through time by masturbating. And that's one of the TV shows on GTA 5.
Oh, right, well, I'm definitely going to go and have a look out for that.
Yes, it's like, take my hand, Timmy, we'll get there quicker. Mom! Fucking amazing, man. The amount of times, even though on the PSP version there was only, because it was one of those like, you know, on like BBC Radio 4, and it's like coming up next, we have a tale of 3 cities, and it was like like a play or whatever. It was kind of like that on the PSP one, and they only had like 3 stories, but I would literally just go onto the settings, find it on the radio and just listen to it.
Yeah.
Not even play the game, just have my headphones in and just listen to it.
Yeah, see, I do like that element. I mean, to be fair, you're sort of caught up in pretty much whatever it is you're doing anyway. But it was a really nice element of GTA 4, like kind of what was going on the radio and whoever was on. And like Laszlo, like the kind of crazy Radio 2.0, he's actually in this and he's a dick. But
what's the channel on this? It's a I can't remember his name now, but he's it's like a talk show thing, like you call it, like a call-in radio show thingy.
Yeah.
And but he just makes like a humming noise, and he's like, "You're on the air, listeners," whatever the name is, and then he'd say something. He'd be like, "Yeah, I can understand your problems." That's all he did.
I don't know. There was like a Judge thing as well. There was like kind of like a Judge Judy kind of like radio parody on GTA 4, where it was just like this really kind of like super stereotypical over the top black guy being the judge, and then it'd be like, I can't remember any of the cases or anything, but they were all like just stupid things. It's like, oh, he stole my cat or whatever. And then he'd just be like, yeah, I sentenced you to... I can't even remember, but they're so fucking good. I want to be able to sort of like get a whole fucking transcript
that's what
of like all the radio station like comedy stuff that was going on. It's so funny.
Because with GTA 5, a lot of the time when I actually get to play is just after put my son to bed. So I can't have it on that loud anyway. So I tend to, at night time, I tend to turn the radio off altogether, because even though my PS3 is hooked up to the surround sound, and even though I've got it on 1, upstairs it's still...
Yeah.
So I tend to have a lot of the... I actually have to go in the settings and turn the effects down a little bit, and then I have the radio off, so it's only if I get to play through the day, I'll actually listen to the radio, so... I've still got quite a bit to catch up on in terms of I've only heard a few of the adverts, and like I say, the only ones I really listen to is West Coast Talk Radio, and sometimes the Lowdown, because they do have a bit of talking on that one. But that's one of the things of GTA. There's so many little touches that have gone into everything, and like you say, they seem real. A lot of things you're listening to, if they snuck that onto like Radio 1 on an advert or something, you'd probably believe it.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That good. Probably not the baby buying one, but...
Yeah. Similar stuff though, like they're selling like sports products and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like a company that sells like things that you can go and tell people you've done, but that you actually haven't. It's just like stuff like that. It's just like, oh, that's exactly what, because like people are so, they want to go out and say, oh yeah, I've done this, I've climbed this mountain and blah blah blah, and then you're just like, oh wow, that's amazing, well done. But it's just like this company says, yeah, we'll just set it all up, but you don't actually have to do it. Don't worry about it. So I love that, like all that sort of element of it. Yeah, right. So let's start on things that are the good side.
Which we've already
basically everything else.
Yeah, there's not a fat lot that isn't good, if I'm honest.
No,
I mean, a lot of the stuff we have just spoke about was actually stuff we did like. It kind of started off with things we didn't particularly like,
but it somehow works its way into the fact that because like it's just like, well, yeah, I don't like the fact that people just start on you, but it's just led to huge fucking bar brawls, and everyone's been battered, and you just come out like king of the hill. Like there's a hilarious video on the internet of some guy as Trevor, and like someone. Like, I can't remember how it starts, but basically he just starts fighting with this guy in the street, and then someone else comes over and joins in, and then someone else comes over, and then someone else comes over, and he's beating them off one by one, and he's finally beating them all. He's on like this tiny amount of health, and then like the last guy who started on him just ends up running away, and he chases after him, and this guy just sort of just does like a quick turn to the right, and he like slams into a lamppost and kills him. And it's just so funny because you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake! But that's exactly what it is. Like, you just fall off a bridge or something and you land on your head and you're dead straight away.
I was exploring. It's like the first night, because when we first got it, and it come out, we didn't get to play it a lot. But I didn't actually mess around until a couple of days after, and then it was like, well, if we're not together and you want to play it, don't do any of the missions, but we'll just dick about, like.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
And I was running up the beach and I found a house, a property for sale, and I thought, oh, I'll see if you can actually go in and have a look around or something. So I've gone up the steps, and it's looking over the beach, and it was dead nice, and obviously couldn't get in. But I realised that there was a bit of a wall bit that you could climb on and then get on the roof. And I thought, obviously you're going to climb up, because it's there, so I did. And I was just walking, and I didn't realise how close to the edge I was, and he just literally fell, face first, snapped his neck, and then obviously $5 grand later, woke up in, like, coming out of the hospital, and it was like, it really wasn't that high. It was,
it's just the way that you landed.
Yeah,
that's it, you're out of it.
That he literally just walked and gone face first. If he'd landed any other way, he'd have been fine with it.
Yeah, but it's that kind of same sort of thing, like, from obviously Rockstar, but Max Payne 3. Like, you could have full health and body armour and stuff, but you take one shot to the head and you're down.
Which, as annoying as it is good.
Yeah, it is, because you think, well, I won't keep my head out, I'll be behind cover all the time, because all they need is just that one cheeky shot and you're straight out.
I mean, I'll go into missions with, I buy the heaviest armour.
See, I rarely bought the body armour, to be honest with you. It was only like on the heists and stuff that I sort of thought maybe I need a bit of protection.
How easy it is to die, and especially when, I mean, yeah, there are checkpoints now on this, but even still, sometimes they don't always start where you want them to, and I'll go and buy the armour, but it doesn't make a fat lot of difference, if I'm honest. It's a case of if you're going to get shot in the head, then you're going to die.
Yeah.
It makes the game a lot more right. Even as GTA, I am going to stay behind cover, and I'm going to pick them out one by one instead of just running in balls blazing. Balls blazing, guns blazing.
Both. Why not?
But I do like it because it does give you a bit of a moment to reflect on how much better the shooting is compared to GTA 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said before, I don't think GTA 4 has aged very well. And coming up to the build-up of GTA 5, Zoe was playing GTA 4, and I've said this to her before. She got to a certain mission, couldn't do it, so she asked me to do it for her. And even though I did it, and I did it first time, didn't die or nothing, I found the controls so clunky, and it just I don't remember it being like that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of sort of things like, because like in GTA 4, like in confined spaces or inside buildings and stuff, you'd find yourself running into door frames and things, and stuff like that is frustrating. But that seems to be something that they've really noticed on this, and you kind of got like a guided rails kind of system. So like going through doors and running upstairs, if you just press forward and run, and they just follow the stairs round perfectly.
I didn't.
And it's just like, that makes sense. Although it sort of takes away the fact that you're sort of running around. I'd just be bumping into walls and stuff all the time.
I didn't notice that until you crashing at Wade's cousin's house.
I knew you were going to say that, up that first stairs, because there's like, it just literally just does a 180.
That was the first time I noticed it. And don't get me wrong, there are still times where I end up just spazzing up against a wall on a certain particular mission. The mission, one of the last ones that I've done, where Trevor and Michael go down to the TV studio and then you end up shooting that guy. As you leave the building and he's gone, I was running in. I thought he'd gone through a window, where you got like the wall of windows looking into the car park, and I was just running at the window. And then they was like, no, the door's over there. I'm like, alright. And then we've got there, we've drove there in Michael's car, but Trevor drove.
Yeah.
And we come out, and it's like, let's take the truck. Why?
Yeah, that I didn't quite get. It was cool, like, you decouple it and then just chase after it. Huge truck. But yeah, there's like a whole car park full of cars. Why that gigantic truck?
And it's like, where like we say, like decouple the trailer. I manoeuvred through the whole car park and the stupidest little spaces, got onto the road bit, and it's like, press right to decouple the trailer. How did you say that? It's all moved.
See, I think that sort of like he was trying to, basically what they try and do is they try and implement like you playing a mission in every sort of type of vehicle. So you have to play on a bicycle, you have to play in a helicopter, in a plane, in a car, on a bike, on a quad bike, in a truck, that kind of thing. So you cover every type of vehicle, which means that if for whatever reason you jump in a truck, you automatically know how to get the trailer off. So it's like those kind of tutorials being built into it. I don't think that was the best mission to have, like as a chase mission. It should have been like a transport mission or something. But I think they just did it for sort of like a tutorial, because obviously that right D-pad is quite an action. I mean, you can use it to just talk to people in the street, and like you're in a convertible, you press it and it brings the hood down and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like an interaction button outside of just punching someone in the face. So I think those kind of tutorials need to be in there, and they need to say there are other types of vehicles. Don't just stick to the one that you own.
Yeah.
You know, buy a bicycle because they're really fucking useful for getting away from the police and stuff.
Not only that, it boosts your stamina.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I like the fact that that's sort of been brought back in from San Andreas, you know, the fact that you can... although I did go to the sort of the Muscle Beach kind of thing, where all the sort of like super hench women are, and then like there's a woman doing some pull-ups. So I was stood underneath just thinking, yeah, I'll do some of that and, you know, get a bit of strength or stamina or whatever. Bumped into her by mistake. Obviously, they all started on me straight away. So after I battered them all, went up to the pull-up bar, you can't even do any.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck. Because I thought, you know, there's like all these sort of like gym equipment everywhere, and I was looking for gyms on the map, and I was thinking there's got to be one on here somewhere where I can do some exercise other than just playing tennis, but there aren't any, unfortunately.
The problem with customization things and stuff, games like this, is, and you look at Saints Row, especially Saints Row 2, the amount of customization you could do was ridiculous. Absolutely phenomenal. If you wanted to have, I don't know, half a mohawk and tattoos all over your body, but you wanted to wear a t-shirt with a tie and shorts with high heels and a bra, and you're a dude, like, you could do it.
Yeah. Because
of the amount of vast customization with cars, with weapons, with clothes, with appearance. Obviously, the graphics are pushed aside because the engine needs to implement all your changes into every single cutscene. So the more customization you can do, the worse the graphics kind of are.
Yeah.
Purely for the engine. And Saints Row 3 couldn't customize enough, like as much as you could in Saints Row 2. But the graphics obviously were better, but obviously to divide that, there wasn't as much customization. If you wanted to wear a tie, you had to wear a suit. If you wanted to wear a cardigan, you'd have the default t-shirt underneath it, etc. So on GTA 5, even though you can do quite a bit of customization, I can't wear a certain t-shirt without the rest of the stuff in there, basically. I mean, obviously, if you want to wear dress pants with a t-shirt, I think you can. But
Yeah, you can choose individual items, but then they also give you the option for, like, because I haven't done individual items, I've just gone suit, full suit, and then just chose one that looks nice. Like, I don't think I've actually done sort of like individual clothes.
I have for Franklin. Franklin has got, it's like a backwards cap, sunglasses, tank top, proper like gangster boy jeans and trousers and that. Michael's just a suit and sunglasses. And Trevor, I've shaved his head, give him a beard, and he's got a suit, and he's like Max Payne / Hitman / ridiculously psychopath.
Yeah.
But Franklin is actually the only one who I've individually picked different bits of clothes. However, I've noticed I can buy more suits as Michael's than I can as Trevor. If I go into whatever the name of the clothing store is, Ponty something, Poisonberries or something, it's like the one with all the suits. If I go in with Michael, he has a bigger selection of suits than Trevor.
Yeah.
Which I think.
Well, it's like it's like if you go to certain hairdressers with certain characters, there's different options available. And if you go to other hairdressers, then there's other haircuts.
Trevor's a shit. You can have short
mullet,
hair, medium shit hair, or longer shit hair.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to give him a mohawk or something.
Yeah, I know, but that's at the first hairdressers. If you go to another one, there might be a different hairstyle then.
No, I've been to every single one.
Oh, does it stick as it is?
They vary, but they're all just basically the same.
Oh, right, that's what. Yeah.
Wank.
Yeah. So what else is there? The shoot mechanic. It reminds me a lot of Max Payne 3, but that is a very good thing because Max Payne 3's shooting, the bullet time, everything was perfect. So the fact that they haven't got a huge crosshair on the screen, there's no sort of like aiming reticle that there was in GTA 4 where you could sort of aim at people's heads. Instead you half hold the trigger and it gives you free aim, hold it down all the way if you've got target assist on and it will lock to the target.
Yeah.
Usually for a headshot, but with some of the fights you have to go through, I haven't taken it off, and it has made it slightly easy in the fact that you can just blitz through a whole load of cops pretty quickly.
Yeah, just.
But if it wasn't, I don't think I would have. It would certainly take me a lot longer to complete because I can't shoot for shit usually. So it's a massive help. But it doesn't really take it away from the fact that you still got to time it right because you really feel the damage you get.
Even with the aim assist though, there's a very high % chance you're going to get your ass raped.
Yeah, I died a lot. And that is with me trying my best. I mean, that's, you crash wrong and you go through the windscreen and you kill yourself.
Yeah.
So, it's
Is there a way
not
to crash right?
about... Sorry?
Is there a way to crash right?
True. I don't know if you could do it and then land through the windscreen of another car or into the back of an ambulance. I think you'd be okay.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, that's proper GTA stuff. You set a bomb on the back.
Sleeping dogs, that is.
Yeah, hit a car, fly through the windscreen, blow the doors, and land in the back of the ambulance, and you're healed. If you could do that, then you'd be all right.
If you can do that, then you're playing Just Cause.
Yeah, pretty much. Driving, vast improvement, absolutely amazing, and the fact that you do feel the difference in driving skill. I mean, it's even like when you change character and you see the different walk that they have. They've got a different run, they've got a different attack. The way that every character feels individual to themselves, and they've got certain stats that are higher than others. Franklin, obviously, very good driver. He's got his ability thing, excellent. As soon as I was doing the sort of the tutorial missions, and it said that there was these ability things, I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. But you know what? They are the most useful thing. I mean, because it is completely optional, and you can do the entire game without even thinking about them. But that has saved me so many bullshit crashes, or like people swerving at you and stuff like that. You can just click that on, just flip out the way. So well done.
To be the most useful.
Sorry?
Franklin's ability is.
Yeah, it's probably really the only one that I kind of use. With the fact that whenever I'm Trevor, I'm kind of tearing things up anyway. So unless I'm getting hopelessly outnumbered, I'll sort of switch his rampage mode on.
Yeah.
Michael's bullet time, it is obviously bullet time.
Yeah.
It's useful, but because it slows down everything, like if you have to reload in the middle of activating it, you just turn it off straight away because there's no point in trying to sit through it.
Just wasting it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't use Trevor and Michael's all that often. I
do if I'm in heavy combat or when you're in the middle of a heist. But most of the time, sort of free roaming about, it will only be Franklin's I use.
I tend to only use Michael or Trevor's if I'm a bit unsure of where I'm being shot at from, and I use it as time to look.
Right.
I don't actually particularly use it in combat per se, whereas Franklin's, it's just brilliant. Like you say, you can actually get weaving in and out of the traffic while you're being chased or whatever if you're chasing after someone else. And whereas normally you see that opening and you think, I can make that, and you just fucking plow through and flip the car, whereas you turn this on, you can actually make it.
Yeah, and it's because if you are in the middle of a mission or you're getting chased by the police, if you just hit something wrong and you go flipping off, then that's it. You know, they're going to catch you straight away. But it is like a safety net, and like I say, it's completely optional. You can just go, well, no, I feel like I'm cheating, so I don't want to use that. You know, I'm going to do it old school.
I must say, as I do tend to play a lot, especially after unlocking him, I tend to play a lot as Trevor, more than you, purely because he's just hilarious.
Yeah, he is. I think he is my new sort of favourite character in a video game.
Yeah.
Because he's an absolute psychopath.
Imagine if there was a Shepard / Trevor game.
If they did, I could honestly see them, like, out of all the GTA characters, anyone getting their own sort of spin-off game and it working, it would be Trevor. And it would be him.
Yeah.
Before GTA 5.
What I
and
did
it'd be insane.
Is, when... what's his name now?
Johnny.
The guy in the wheelchair.
Oh, Lester. You
meet up with him, and you're on about getting a gang back together. And then he mentions someone. He actually references Nico.
He does, yeah. He says, "Oh, there's an Eastern European guy who's like causing shit in Liberty City." I did a little girly scream. I was like, "Eee!" The thing is, though, there are other references.
Oh yeah,
so
throughout.
Keep your eyes open because there are other references, not only to Nico but to CJ and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So definitely keep your eyes open because when you spot them, you're like,
yeah. I mean, there might have a few more though, because you didn't play The Lost of the Damned either, did you? As well as Ballad of Gay Tony.
No, but although I never played the game, as soon as Johnny appeared, I knew who he was. I knew how much of a fucking badass he was. So the fact he got his head stamped on immediately set the tone for Trevor perfectly.
I honestly, I was a bit not upset, but I was like, what the fuck? Because he was a bit of a fucking badass, and he was a cool character to play as. The Lost and the Damned, out of the two, you had the Ballad of Gay Tony. You don't actually play Tony, you play his bodyguard basically, but he's also like his business associate. I can't remember his name now. Whatever his name is. And then you had Lost and the Damned, where actually you played as Johnny. And out of the two, The Lost and the Damned was the weakest story of the two. It was a very good add-on. But the Ballad of Gay Tony could have easily been a full length. I mean, they both was full length games on their own right, like, but I would actually quite like to have maybe gone into a club on here and it had been one of Gay Tony's clubs that he owns.
Yeah, the thing is though, I think the game itself is so strong that it doesn't need to cameo sort of like older characters just to... I mean, they do in a sense, but they do it in such a way that it doesn't really lend itself to the story and the fact that, oh my god, now this person's here, now this can happen. It's just like, they're aware of it. It's like...
It does vary. I mean, you have GTA 4 where, when, with like the Irish family, and you're doing the jewellery heist, robbery sort of thing, and in that particular scene where you meet at like the docking yard, Johnny's there with the Lost and the Damned, like the biker gang,
right.
and then obviously in The Lost of the Damned, you play that exact same mission, but from their point of view.
Oh, really?
And there's a lot of things like that throughout the two games. And in the Ballad of Gay Tony, Roman, which is Nico's brother, and the I forgot his name now.
Roman's his cousin.
His cousin, sorry, not brother. And another character, I can't remember his name, and they're always in Gay Tony's clubs. So it's just stuff like that, really, that blends in and out. But obviously, GTA 4 is a different arc altogether. It's kind of like someone referencing Tommy Vercetti from Vice City.
Yeah, it is just kind of like making them aware that they're saying, yeah, they are part of. It's like
the same world.
It's Superman, Batman reference.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of thing. You're just like, oh yeah, I forgot you're kind of on the same. So when you say, yeah, there's this guy, and he's like, shit, yeah, I was playing that only last night. Fuck, that's amazing. So yeah, things like driving, the flying has changed dramatically in a realistic sense, though. The lower your, I mean, I tried flying today as Franklin. Obviously, Franklin, out of the three of them, is the worst flyer.
Yeah.
And you, like, I just pressed the trigger just to ascend, and it was all over the place. And then when you do it as Trevor, obviously you've got like a perfect ascension.
Yeah.
So you can really see the sort of the increase in their own skills. But yeah, I mean, there's things like wind turbulence that kind of like knock you off. I do like the flying in this, I really do. It takes a little bit of time to sort of master it, but after you go through the flight school, that really, really does help. Planes especially, if you're trying to fly low to the ground. So yeah, I really like the flying. The things like the new edition sort of things like properties and the stock market. I like the fact that you can play the stock market through your own actions.
Yeah.
So you can bet against an action that you're going to perform. So, you know, if you kill someone, and then the rival company of that will have an increase in stock because of, you know, their rival is sort of going out of business. So you just invest all your money in that, pull the mission off, and then you get a massive increase in funds. So that sort of stuff, love that. It's a really good addition. I really do like that. The property kind of annoyed me slightly. I like the fact that there's all these different types of places to buy. However, you can't go in them.
No.
That bugged me. That really did bug me. Because like, the first time I bought, it's like a bar or something, or a restaurant. I thought, right, I'll go in and have a look. Nothing. You can't go in it at all.
What they should have done, they should have had less properties, but the ones you can buy. Say, I mean, I don't know how many there is. Say there's 10. You should have had 5, but once you've bought them, you can go in them.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if that's something that when you're doing online missions, you can buy properties and you can go in them, you can go in and have a drink and all that sort of stuff.
Same properties.
Yeah, but I don't know if they actually do an interior.
They might possibly.
It's something I'd like to see. I doubt it, but it's something I would like to see, because it's just, otherwise it's just a mark on the map and then a weekly email you get saying, yeah, you've made $7,000 off it.
It's like every 5 hours. It's an in-game week is 5 hours.
Yeah. I don't know if that's offline as well. So when you don't have your Xbox turned on, I don't think it's sort of like...
no, it doesn't count. It doesn't carry.
Yeah, backdate it. Other than that, though, the story, obviously, you don't know to its full extent, but it only gets better, and it is absolutely brilliant. The ending...
We won't talk about.
No, I mean, in a sense of, with any fantastic game, the ending is always the critical moment, and it's fine. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. But everyone will have their own kind of experience of it.
That's what I'm most looking forward to about finishing the single player. Is it's not the end.
No, not at all. No.
It carries on online.
Exactly, and I mean that is sort of the sense you get from it, because it's not an ending as in, right, so now we'll all go and do our own separate thing and we'll never speak to each other again. It's kind of just like, alright, I'll see you in a bit then.
Yeah.
And that's it, and you're sort of like, oh. But you know, well, anyone that sort of knows about the game anyway will know that, as you just said, it's not the end at all. It's just, that's the story that's sort of the heavily sort of invested in. Now it's up to you.
Yeah.
Which is fine. The characters are brilliant. Obviously, people will have their own favourites. Mine, and obviously yours, Trevor, is an absolute genius.
I'd honestly say
he's scarily hilarious.
He's probably my favourite ever GTA character.
I agree.
Near on, game character. Probably not my favourite game character. Definitely now one of the. I can say mine because mine was actually on the trailer. But when you switch back to Trevor, when you've been playing as Michael or Franklin, like Dan said earlier, he's usually doing something ridiculously fun, whether it's horrible or.
Yeah, it can be either. It can just be some ridiculous situation, or it's terrible.
And the one I had the other day was actually the one from the trailer where he's trying to flush a leg down the toilet. And it was just, even though I'd seen it before, it was just like, seriously, what the fuck?
It gets the thing is though, I mean, what he does within the story, he is a horrific person. Absolutely the worst kind of murdering, horrible person. But because you're seeing it from such a strange perspective, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's genuinely funny. You just like, oh my god, I cannot believe you just did that, you psycho.
He's like the first time you actually meet him, he's knocking the back out of Johnny's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then he offers to knock the back out of Johnny. Orders him to like take his trousers off, like. And then obviously he apologises and gives him a hug, and then he just pushes him down and stamps on his head until he's dead.
Yeah.
And goes to the bikers, and he's got the bit of brain stuck on his
shoe. Yeah. And
it's like, when you say it like that, he's like basically, I mean, she consented to it. You could get the gist of that much, but he basically insinuated he was going to rape Johnny. He then killed him. And then he drove to his friends and told them that he's killed him. And but before he actually tells them, he tells them that he was having sex with Johnny's girlfriend. And they're like, Johnny ain't going to be happy about that. And he's like, you think? Let's ask him.
Yeah, he just starts shouting at his shoe. Yeah, and you're just like, oh, this is terrifying.
And even though, like, when you say it in the content, it's vile and it's disgusting. But when you just watch it, it's hilarious.
It is, and you're just like, oh god. But it's just like one of those people that you know if you met him, you would shit your pants instantly.
The mission with his little friend, is it Ron?
Ron, yeah.
He, that's another thing actually with the tanker, it's like, get Ron in your tank. But when they do the drop-off mission, when you first fly the plane, and they're on about splitting it, and he's like, we'll talk about it when we get down, the fair share. And then he bullies him into giving him all the money.
Yeah.
And he's like just been saying like he needs the money to pay off his divorce and whatnot.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah, basically, he says, you're going to give me your half. He's like, I am. And he like just stares at him, he's like, yeah, of course. And it's like, he's just a fucking nut.
Yeah.
And just the way like when he finally meets Michael again, we're not going to go into the story at all, but
no, that meeting, that was incredibly awkward.
Even I felt awkward.
Yeah, and it's just like, you're just like, oh god. If you were there, you just walk out, you wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah. Well, you can even see it in Michael's face when him and his son don't particularly get on, and the first thing he does is make sure his son's behind him.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because as soon as I saw that, I was just like, oh god.
Yeah.
He knows this guy so well. He just knows that. I mean, the thing is though, ironically, like, the kids, although they're terrified of him, like him, you know, they do look up to him.
Yeah.
And they could, because you can see him as that sort of like, although he is, if you know, sort of were against him, he would kill you.
Yeah, I think he's one of these people that,
if you were his mate, he would do absolutely anything to make sure you were okay.
Well, you can see it in, I mean, it's not particularly a spoiler, but Michael's daughter, when Trevor's there for that meeting, the lad says about Michael's daughter doing that TV show, like Fame or Shame or something.
Yeah.
And even though Trevor's there on a vengeance mission, all he wants to do is go and stop her from embarrassing herself on TV. And throughout that entire mission, he acts more like a father than Michael does, and you can just get that feeling, like we just said, that if you're his friend or you're his family or whatever, he'll literally go across the country and kill anyone just to make sure you're alright or you get what you need. But if it's the other way around, he'll go over the country to find you just to kill.
Yeah, there wouldn't be anything that you'd be able to do.
Yeah, he's either his friend or you're dead. That seems to be the way. And I think a lot of people that are his friend because they're scared of him, not because he's such a nice guy. Whereas Michael obviously was his best friend, and I mean he said out he was heartbroken and stuff, and he mourned for him and stuff, and you kind of get the impression that before all this happened he was probably a decent guy.
I don't know. See, I don't know as to whether it would be something like. That's where I would like to sort of like to see a kind of a prequel to his story, as to whether it was the kind of the death of Michael that really fucked him, or whether he was actually like that before he died.
I eventually thought of it actually, where on the opening mission, which is like 9 years ago, and when I can't remember who it is, but Trevor says like, I'm not gonna. Oh, it's when you're playing as Trevor and Michael gets shot, and he's telling you to go, and Trevor's like, I'm not gonna leave you, and then he's like just shooting off all the police and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he eventually gets ambushed and he has to run, and obviously that's where he thinks Michael's died. But even though he had the chance to go a lot sooner, he stayed to try and save him.
Yeah. So I mean, the actual character development that goes through them as well is it's really, really good. Like, definitely one of the best I've seen. But the voice acting that goes with it as well, is amazing. It's just genuinely amazing. And obviously, they're pretty much all mocapped as well. So the faces are pretty much spot on for the voice actors, which is kind of crazy when you see the guy who actually played Trevor and he looks fucking terrifying.
What I found the most annoying but also very hilarious is Lamar.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd
always be changing to Franklin and calling Lamar up and be like, should we go and do something? I just want to hear him talk.
You can't understand a single word except for motherfucker.
Yeah, I had to put subtitles on within about 15 minutes because I just didn't understand what the hell was going on. But it is really funny.
So much thought has gone into like nearly every aspect of the game.
Yeah. I mean, when you think $250 million, 5 years, I think that's as good as anything that could have come out of it.
It's made like $1 billion in like 3 days.
Yeah, with its record rate beating most films. It had a budget only beaten by Pirates of the Caribbean, I think, which had a budget of about $300 million to make. But it's obviously completely obliterated how much it made.
Oh yeah.
But don't forget, there's things like the DLC, any kind of merchandise, anything that's going to come from it. That's just pre-orders and the first 3-day game sales alone. That's all that is. It's amazing.
Ridiculously impressive. But again, I think Last of Us deserves it more. To do.
Yeah.
I will put money on Grand Theft Auto will be Game of the Year, and it will be by a considerable margin. However, no matter all the amazing stuff, and it is a fantastic game. I mean, again, I haven't finished it yet, and it is a fantastic game, and I know I will continue to enjoy it. It is GTA. There's no two ways about it.
It's been established for like 20 years.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe it. It's all new and it's all brilliant, but it's all the same. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I know
what you mean. Near a bad thing. Obviously, I'd like to keep it as GTA as possible because there's no point changing the formula now. Just keep out.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing, because I mean you can still see it. That sort of like cheeky Rockstar element of it. You know, like the motorways look like dicks, and there's like big like oil things that just look like a massive pair of boobs.
Yeah.
And it's just that kind of stuff. And it's just like, oh, they're still there. They're still making their little cheeky references. You know, so all that sort of stuff is there, but then they can just top it off with this perfectly serious story and these really sort of interesting but completely diverse characters.
The only thing I can't not so much grasp, it's the wrong word to use, but what I can't really sit there and I can honestly say I've got the same sense of amazement as I did with The Last of Us. See, as I say it, I'm saying in my head they're totally different games.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I don't think at any point will I ever reconsider it, but I think it is definitely the best open world game I've ever played.
Oh, hands down, easily.
Yeah, but for sheer game alone, I don't know. I mean, still though, Last of Us is just A to B, isn't it? There's not really much choice. I mean, that's something we've discussed
the emotion
before.
than anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
And obviously the graphics are amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is though, I mean, I can speak to you, and you've done things that I didn't even think about doing before.
Yeah.
But when you played Last of Us, like, I remember that bit, and he's like, yeah, I did that exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of, because of the sort of, what they wanted the game to be for Last of Us, is exactly what you play.
Yeah.
And that's great, and it's really, really well done. But with GTA, they kind of given you like 80%, and then the other 20, that's just you pissing about. And you go and talking to your mates and saying, I found this thing, and you're just like, oh, fuck, no way, where was that?
If you only did the story, though, I think it'd be very linear. Because at Last of Us, you could do your stealth, and obviously you had to scavenge for stuff, and everything was limited. GTA, disregarding the sandbox element, if you only do the missions, even though you can stealth it up in some parts, ultimately you've got to do it the way that they've said.
Yeah.
And even though that is the case in The Last of Us tricks you into thinking you're doing it a different way to somebody else.
Yeah.
No, you're really not, but you do get it in your head. And in sense of how I feel towards the game, if Trevor wasn't in this game, I don't think I'd have had any moment where I've gone, like, maybe not laughed, but even like been shocked or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, just where we both felt incredibly awkward when Trevor's at Michael's house, and for a GTA game, that's very impressive to make someone feel that way, in a sense of. I mean, I know people that haven't even watched the video; they just skip the videos to do the mission.
Oh, I don't understand how anyone can do that. The AAA title, why would you bother? What would be the point of spending the money?
Exactly.
It is just driving from A to B, shoot people along the way.
Actually,
you know why you can live there, don't matter.
About the videos.
I mean, imagine doing Metal Gear Solid with that.
I was just about to. Well, you'd finish in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Playthrough would be nothing, and you wouldn't understand what the fuck was going on.
Exactly. You can't anyway.
Well, yeah.
But I genuinely think Trevor is what makes this game stand out as a GTA title. You do get a lot more. You laugh because he's horribly funny. You cringe because he's disgusting. But you do feel that slight compassion that, you know, this guy's best friend has lied and cheated him, and you know, this could be the reason why he is a fucking psycho. But obviously we won't delve into that. But disregarding that, I will still say Game of the Year, purely because, like we said on the Last of Us podcast, I think it was, this is a value for money game.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do, and yeah, we have listed stuff you can't do, but I'd say that between the two lists, there's a lot more that you can do than you can't.
Yeah. Plus, with the introduction of the online, because quite frankly, I just don't know what it's going to include.
No.
It might just make it just bigger, but you've basically got the same restrictions.
Yeah.
Or they might just say, actually, it is now totally open world, and there's just like all this extra stuff you can do. If that's the case, then even Last of Us won't be able to stand up to it.
No.
Because it means that you've gone through everything. I mean, although I completed it within a few days, I mean, that was literally 10 to 12, 13 hour stints in a go. And I mean, that is, if you add that up, you know, you're looking at sort of like well over 40, 50 hours.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, that, although I did do a lot of sort of the Stranger Freak missions, which are kind of funny because they're all different. It's not just saying, oh, take me here, kill this guy. They're all really different. And there is also a collectibles element, which is, as far as I'm aware, like one of the first times that's actually been done in a GTA game. But there's like spaceship parts that you can collect, and there's 50 of them, but they're not on the map. So it's literally when you come across them, and I found one. In all the time I've played it, I found one.
You could find them on Google.
I'm assuming so, but I'd rather sort of... I'd assume there'd be something planned out for you to actually locate them. Again, maybe something for the online, I don't know. But what I'm hoping is that collect all the spaceship parts and it unlocks Area 51 from San Andreas. Something like that. That's what I want. I don't want to just be digging around in the desert for no reason to find this to get an achievement.
The fact that the San Andreas desert is on there is it's plausible.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's really what I'd want to hope. The collectibles lead to those sort of like connections between the games.
How amazing would it be on like PS3, Xbox 360, and you unlock this spaceship and you go to the San Andreas desert? And I obviously remember playing San Andreas on the PS2. Imagine finding a jetpack and like Elvis fucking alien.
Yeah.
Stuff. That'd be
That's what I was. As soon as I spoke to the dude, and he was just like, "Yeah, these spaceship parts." I was like, "Oh my god, jetpack!" First thing I thought, and then as soon as I actually found one of the fucking things, it's like 1 of 50. I was like, "Forget it. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to find this pissing thing."
No, because I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but that's the sort of thing that I just think. As soon as I found it, I just thought, "What if?"
Yeah.
I mean, because it's Rockstar, and it's just like that is exactly the kind of thing they do.
I kind of wanted to go into a bar, and see like Max Payne and John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, having a beer and stuff.
But they're famous for their Easter eggs, Rockstar. I mean, although it hasn't been out long enough to find things like the swing set from GTA 4 and the heart in the Statue of Liberty and all that sort of stuff, they've got to have them in there somewhere.
Well, I believe GTA 3, it was like one of the only buildings you could properly go in, and it was like an office. And if you when it's like the standstill, I can't remember what button it was you pressed, but you pressed it. It went like first person, so you could look around. But you couldn't walk; you could just stand still and look. And if you went into that and looked at the computer screen, on the computer was like GTA 1 from the PS1.
No way.
And I can't remember what the other Easter egg was. It was like quite a big pivotal one. But they like you say, they are notorious for stuff like that.
Yeah, and especially in a game this big, they must have something hidden away.
Yeah, of course.
I'd just rather not find it out from Facebook. I'd rather sort of stumble across it myself by some crazy escapade.
Well, somebody's found Bigfoot already, haven't they?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, well, I'm going on the hunt for that straight away.
It's during a particular mission, and you have to look through the scope. I didn't read too much because I haven't done the mission, so I kind of skipped ahead and watched the video, but I forwarded it. And he basically, as you look through the scope, and there's like night vision mode or whatever, or heat mode, and when you see like this figure behind a tree, and he's like a lot larger than the other people around, so you turn the mode off. So
I know the mission you're thinking of. That you're describing. I know the exact mission.
Well, when you flick it off, Bigfoot's there, and then
fuck, no way.
And then
I never came out of that thermal vision, which you can't see fuck all.
Well, when you're looking, he's obviously bigger than everyone else, and then when you flick it off, he's there, looks, and then he literally just goes and disappears. It's like
shit.
So now you can do that.
Well, yeah, now I've got a reason to go back and do it again.
Yeah, it's basically the only other one I know really.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more.
Oh yeah, there'll be loads. And at some point, I think when I get to a point where I've finished it and I've kind of got nothing to do, I might look online and see which ones I can find a list and see how many I can check off.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't mind the sort of collectibles, but as long as they're identifiable, like things like Tomb Raider, there's like all the geocaches.
Yeah.
But as soon as you found a treasure map, they were all on the map. Yeah. So then I go, right, I can go and get all these now, and I
still didn't
actively go out and hunt them all. So if there was something like that to do, and it says, right, here's where all the spaceship parts in the desert, then I'd spend a good hour or so looking at them all. Just on the off chance that maybe it did give you some sort of... Because, I mean, there's... I almost bought that for you then.
Yes.
There's... Because it seems to be restricted to the desert, so I'm hoping that it won't be sort of like on top of a random building somewhere. But, yeah, I would like to... I don't want it just to be like 50 out of 50, 10 gamer points.
Yeah.
I want it to be like, right now, there's this whole section that you can do, or it's like an extra mission that's sort of in a spaceship or whatever. Just something mad. Just something like that. Just says, well done for spending 2 hours looking for the desert for fuck all. Here's a 20-minute on an alien spaceship getting probed or something. That'd be mint. I'd love that.
That would be quite impressive.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But
Yeah, but that's the sort of thinking I'd like to say, that it won't just be, well done, you found them all. I want a little reward for it as well.
I think it's safe to say, though, that we're both quite impressed with GTA. After all the hype and all the build we gave it.
The thing is, though, that's what gets me the most about it. I don't think Rockstar have actually put that much hype into it. They've just released trailers. Everyone else has absolutely lost their shit about it.
Rockstar they are the A-list celebrities of video games. That's why Rockstar don't need to go to E3. Somebody said, but basically they were asked why GTA wasn't going to be at E3, and the quote was, Rockstar are too big for E3. E3 is like open mic night for them. And literally, then it's true as it was, before that happened, all they did was release the picture that said the V and obviously GTA, and everyone went fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like the Battlefront trailer.
Yeah,
when that was shown, it's about 10 seconds. You didn't see anything, and everyone went, "Oh my god, that's amazing."
They literally did it to let you know it was being made, and that was
yeah.
And it's the same with GTA. We knew it was going to come out. Obviously it was going to come out, but they literally just went, "Here's a picture," and then like a year later, there was finally a small trailer, and then every now and then they'd leak a little bit of a longer trailer and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was just insane that
it's fine, because it's just like, why weren't they at E3? It doesn't need to be.
No.
The fact we're making one, sold.
It's literally, oh yeah, we're making GTA. Shall I put your pre-order down now or later?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, can do.
That's literally what it is. But on that note, I think we've covered a fair chunk without actually spoiling anything.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us. Sorry about the break that we've had from episode 5 to episode 6. But we will be back on track again now. Jeremy Paxton, unfortunately, has left PvP to go on to pastures new.
Yeah.
I'm only joking, of course. He is currently holidaying in Newcastle.
Underline.
He's renting a post office, sleeping in the letters. He, of course, will be back in episode 7, as will we. We're thinking of starting a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to use the contact us at the top of the page and fire away with your questions.
We are also looking to branch out into the YouTube market as well.
Yes, actually, we will be starting a YouTube channel very, 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 very soon. Unfortunately, it's waiting on equipment more than anything else. But if you like to watch your podcasts, then you might want to open your eyes to our YouTube channel once it launches.
Yeah.
You won't miss anything if you don't go on the YouTube. You don't miss anything. If you go on the YouTube instead of listening to us on the site, then again you won't miss anything. Exactly the same. Only ones like
it's just a little bit more exposure. That's all it is.
So spread the word. Like, share, in bed, not in my bed. In bed, it. And yes, like I say, contact us at the top of the page. Send your questions in, if you have any, or just what you've been up to, what sandwiches you took to work. Jump on the YouTube once that hits, and as always, we will see you next week.
Yes.
Do you have anything to add? Is a fond farewell until episode 7?
Don't be a twat.
I like it.
See you next week.
I like it. See you later. Bye.
Massage.
No, I really don't.
Do you want me to get my dick out again?